rise up through the crown of the head. If your eyes haven't closed already, go ahead and do that. And take a long, slow breath in from your belly, letting it travel up and kind of press out in all directions into your ribs, floating up through the top of your head before exhaling all the way back out again and letting there be a softening in your body, in the space between your brows, maybe even a sense of kind of letting the brain soften, thoughts relax a little bit. A few more breaths like that. Inhale, fill up. Open your mouth and sigh out. Last deep breath in. Place your hands somewhere on your body, maybe a hand on the belly, a hand on the chest. Let your chin drop down towards your chest, and you can find a normal but really, really expansive breath. So we just take a moment to maybe set an intention for the practice. And I felt inspired to share a little bit. I took an online workshop this weekend with this really amazing instructor from New York named Dana Trixie Flynn, and she called it tripping towards joy. And this analogy that she used is that, you know, in times of struggle, kind of like what we're in now, there's a tendency to kind of trip and fall into patterns. So we find ourselves tripping on feeling anxious or scared or alone. And, you know, the tripping part is normal. Those emotions are things that we're meant to experience. But what ends up happening is we fall in and we kind of get stuck there. And we feel like maybe this is where we live now and it's the only option that we have. And so what she gently reminded and encouraged is the way in which we can allow those moments of tripping to be an opportunity to kind of catch ourselves. So we feel those moments and we're like, oh, I'm a little off balance. And we allow ourselves to kind of fall over those potholes and into places of joy. So in our practice today, we're going to focus a lot on kind of shifting and moving and being off balance a little bit, and allow yourselves to feel into those spaces, to be off kilter, to laugh a little bit if you fall out of a pose, and to maybe find the joy in the moments of imperfection or uncertainty. Let those eyes blink open. Sweep the arms all the way out and up. Bring your palms to press above your head, and exhale the hands down in front of your heart. Taking a moment to bow in one more time. If there was anything else that you needed as a piece of intention for your practice today, you can allow that to arrive. And then grabbing your music if you wanted it, go ahead and turn that on. We're going to use that as a starting point for the rhythm to our breath work. So go ahead and press play on that Blackbird. And send those arms up towards the sky. You're going to curl your hands in, and then your thumbs are going to close off the fist. So rather than being on the inside, they're on the external part. And you're going to reach out so that you're creating kind of a V shape, almost like you were putting antennas up into the sky, and those antennas are looking for and searching for the joy. And you're going to start to create a little pant, a little. So that pant isn't landing in your chest, it's landing in the lower belly, and you're gently pulling your belly back towards your spine. I see there's some tripping already happening for Tammy. Puppy thinks it's playtime. And we're finding that little pant, pulling the belly in and back. And this doesn't have to be athletic. There's a rhythm to it. Maybe you even find the musicality of it, a sense of pumping a little bit out through your knuckles. But if there's tension in the shoulders or on the backs of your eyes or the back of your neck, see if you can loosen that a little bit and just focus the energy on pulling that belly button back and back and back and back. Sealing the lips. Now it's in and out through your nose as long as you're not stuffy. I mean, we're all alone now, so if you get a little bit of a snot bubble, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Keep going. We're almost there. As those arms start to burn out and get tired, keep reaching for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, big breath in. Palms come to press above the head. Hold your breath. And then exhale, let those hands float all the way down to the tops of the thighs. A moment to drop your chin to your chest, to move a little bit, to let that prana, that fresh flow of breath and energy kind of redistribute through the body. And then if you're sitting on a block, go ahead and lift that block, slide it to the side, and you're gonna lean back so that you can take your right leg forward, and you're gonna drive your pelvis up and off of your mat. Lean back again, drop the pelvis all the way down to the floor, and you switch it to side number 2. Left foot comes down, drive your weight forward, hips lift off of the floor. Yeah, it's a little awkward at first. See if you can start to try it, right to left. And again, you can use the rhythm of the music, or you can just take your time. You don't have to match my pace. You're finding a pace that allows you to feel like you're fully landing with your foot and your shin on the floor. And then the next time that your right foot is on the mat, right foot plants, you're gonna bring your weight forward so that you're actually sitting on your left heel. And if this doesn't feel great, you can lift yourself up a little bit higher so that your sits bones aren't touching your heel. Plant your right fingertips down to the inside of that right leg and send your left arm up. So you've got this nice big wingspan. You should feel a stretch on the inside of that right thigh, maybe across the top of your left shin, and then circle that left arm back a few times. Take up a little bit of space, almost like you were doing backstroke. One more time, find that big reach back, and then plant your left hand behind you. So the left hand might be off of the mat, so that as you lift, you can start to drive your weight back. And then you're gonna bring yourself all the way back forward again. You can even spring off of that back hand, giving it a little bit of a push to give you some momentum. And we're gonna do that a few more times. Left hand goes back, hips lift, right leg will straighten. It almost looks a little bit like stargazer pose. And then bring it all the way back forward again. Right hand plants, left arm reaches towards the sky. 2 more times at your own pace. Press off and reach. And bring it all the way back up again. Last one, take that left hand back, hips lift, reach, straighten your right leg, and then exhale, lower that right leg all the way down to the floor. Slide the left knee over top of your right knee, like you were doing half Gomukhasana, half cow face pose. Walk your hands forward, catching the outsides of your right foot and dropping your forehead all the way down onto your right knee. Big breath in, maybe a little bit of movement, a little waggle. There's no wrong way to experience, especially this first part of the practice. So letting there be a little bit of intuitive movement in your body, really filling it with breath. And then lifting all the way back up again. You're gonna catch the outside of your left foot with your right hand. Straighten your right leg into your right hand. Peel the pinky edge of your right foot back, and then extend your left arm back behind you. So from another angle, it looks like this. You're in a little bit of a twist. Now, if your leg doesn't straighten, that's okay. You can work with a bend in your knee. You can also catch the outside of your calf, ankle, or foot. But you're lengthening the sides of the waist, drawing your chest forward, and then turning from your belly. Now, let's plant your left ankle over top of your right ankle and reach those arms forward. So your ankles are crossed, and you're catching the outer edges of your feet and folding forward over your legs. Inhale to roll all the way back up into a seated position. Bring your ankles to cross. And we find that action side to side again. So left foot to the floor, drive your weight forward, see if you can lift. A little bit of a momentum, a press and a reach. Think up and out through the crown of the head so you're not dumping down. If you don't think rise up, you're not gonna go very far. You're gonna find that tripping into the hole rather than over it. Next time that left foot is forward, bring the left foot forward and sit on your right heel if that's comfortable for you. Remember, if it's not comfortable, you can lift your pelvis up, you can sit on a block, whatever you've got at the ready. And then left shoulder comes to the inside of the left thigh, and we're finding that nice broad wingspan. Right arm is reaching back, left shoulder is pressing into the left leg, and you're gonna do a few back strokes. And if there's other ways you wanna move, if you wanna drop your chin to your chest, if you wanna circle the arm forward, consider this your hall pass to let this practice be really creative and really open to your interpretation. Have fun with it. Take that arm all the way behind the back, and then you're gonna take the right fingertips further behind you. Now remember, they have to go pretty far back in order for you to press off and to make sure that your shoulder doesn't come in front of the wrist. Left leg straightens, left arm reaches up, and then press it back forward. Bring that right arm up towards the sky. Press off the left hand, bring it back. Hips move, left leg straightens, and then bring it forward again. 2 more times, 3 more times. Really, the pace is up to you. I know for me, I like to move slow because slow allows me to really land and to feel like I'm doing it with a sense of integrity. But if you like to move fast because you want to pick up your breath or you want to pick up your heart rate, go there. One last time, right hand comes behind you, press down, lift those hips up, straighten your left leg, reach from your left fingers to your left toes. And then bring it all the way back forward again. Nice. All right, so from here, you're gonna lean back, extend your left leg forward, right knee comes over top of your left knee, reaching for the outer edges of your left foot. So remember, if you can't reach the foot, whatever you can reach is totally fine, but you're looking to stretch out your left hamstring and the outside of your right hip. Forehead drops down, maybe even coming to the top of the knee. And then as you roll up, catch the outside of your right foot with your left hand. So it's opposite hand to foot. Again, I'll turn so that you can see this better. Right leg straightens, right arm reaches back behind you. Chest lifts, belly pulls in, turn, twist, look back. And then you're gonna place your right ankle over top of your left ankle and fold forward again. Squeezing those inner thighs together. Find a little bit of a twisty through the legs. All right, now lift it all the way back up again. Let's rock and roll. You're gonna take it onto your back, front to back, from the space between your shoulders all the way up through the pelvis. And this isn't just the transition. This is a great way to wake up all of those muscles that help to keep us upright, either side of the spine. It's like a little massage. And then on your third or your fourth rock, you're gonna cross your ankles on the floor, plant your palms, step back to downward facing dog, and then walk your feet all the way back to your hands so that you're at the back of the mat in a forward fold. Bend your knees, roll all the way up to stand. Head and shoulders will be the last things to arrive, and then sweep those arms up to frame your ears. Exhale, let your hands land light in front of your heart. Again, find that reach. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, knees bend, hips crease, fold all the way back down to the floor. Walk your hands back to the top of the mat so that you're coming into your downward facing dog. Now roll forward through your spine, stack your shoulders over top of your wrists, making sure that if you have to, you walk those feet back so that the shoulders don't come in front of the wrists. Tighten those lower belly muscles, squeeze your glutes, lengthen from head to heels, and then bend both of your knees and start to rock to the outside edge of your left foot, the inside edge of your right foot. So your hips are pressing towards the back of the mat, your knees are crossed, and you're on the blade edge of one of your feet. Now sweep your right arm up and over your ear and straighten both of your legs. Right arm sweeps back behind you, knees bend, and then squeeze those inner thighs, press up and over. 2 more times, drop it low and back, and then squeeze and reach up, pressing into that nice arc, that nice rainbow shape on the side of the ribs. Last time, take those hips back, and then see if you can lift your right foot and place it at the top of the mat. Lower your back knee all the way down to the floor. Sound effects are key. Press down into your big toe, your shin bone, sweep those arms all the way up to frame your ears. Anjaneyasana pose. Maybe bringing those arms, or rather interlacing those fingers, arm bones move back, hips press forward, and then the gaze goes up. Squeeze the inner thighs a little bit more, especially that left inner thigh scissors forward. Side body lengthen, gaze goes up. Exhale, release the hands down to frame your front foot. All right, so listen up. This transition will be a little different than usual. We're gonna curl the back toes under, lift the back knee. You'll have a chance to practice this, so just do the best you can this time, and then we'll come through around and you'll be a professional by the end of it. You're gonna straighten your front leg and bend your back knee. So back knee is bent, you're up on your right heel. And then press off of those back toes, bring all 4 corners of your right foot forward, left foot comes to meet it. Inhale to your half lifts, and exhale, release to your forward fold, relaxing the back of the neck. Inhale, rise all the way to stand, arms sweep up to frame your ears. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastitihi. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way back down to the floor. Find your half lifts. This time you might spring back to downward dog, so keeping your knees bent, plant your palms, take a big breath in, and as you exhale, shoot those legs back, hips up. Otherwise, you can just step back, but we're landing in that bent knee down dog. And then roll forward through your spine, come into your high plank pose. Bend both of your knees, start to shift the hips back, but it's not up, so you're keeping your pelvis low to the ground. Rock to the inside of your left foot, the outside of your right foot. So those hips are moving back. and you're gonna lift your left arm up. So it's a little bit like side plank, but your knees are bent, and that left knee is bending to create a mitt for your right knee. Now press off of your toes, lengthen the sides of your waist, send the left arm up and over your big side body stretch. Bend the knees, arms sweep back, sink your hips towards your heels, and then press up and over. So you're gonna do that a few more times. We took the shape that we did when we were on the ground earlier, and we're adding a little bit of an element of balance. At your own pace, give it a little bit of freedom. One last time, bend your knees so you're towards the back of the mat, and you're gonna just kind of imagine that you were a rocket. Left foot comes all the way forward, bink. I don't know if I like that sound effect. We'll try another one next time. Back knee comes all the way down to the floor. Press down to rise up. Arms sweep up to frame your ears. Hips forward, inner thighs squeeze. Arm bones move back, gaze lifts. So finding that nice big arch from the sides of the waist to the underneath of the armpit. Heart goes forward and up, gaze goes up and back. 2 more breaths. And then exhale, release your hands all the way down to the floor. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee. Now remember, back knee is bending, front leg is straightening, and you're creating this kind of spring action. So give yourself a little bounce. We don't want to be heavy, we want to be light. Look forward to where you're going, and you're going to press off of those back toes like a rocket ship, all 4 corners of the left foot down, right foot steps to meet it. Inhale to your half lift, and exhale to your forward folds. Inhale, arms sweep all the way out and up. Bring your palms to press. And exhale, hands to heart center. So let's do all of that again. We'll pick up the pace. But remember, if my pace don't match your words or doesn't match your words, feel free to take your time. There's no rush. All right, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Plant your palms. Step or jump those feet back. Find your bent knee down dog. I promise we'll get some vinyasas later. From here, round to the outside of your left foot, inside of your right foot. Drop your hips back towards your heels. Squeeze those inner thighs, and then press off and reach up and over. So this modification of your side plank. Bend the knees, sink back, squeeze and lift. 2 more times. Let there be some breath in it. Especially noticing if you really hold on to your exhale. Let that exhale all the way out. Next time you bend that back knee, remember it's a rocket ship. You're taking that right foot all the way forward. Back knee lowers, arms reach up to frame your ears. 1 long inhale to move those arm bones back to curl open to lift up. And then exhale, hands lower all the way down to the floor. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, bend the back knee, straighten the front leg, come onto your front heel. All right, let's really spring off, and this time we're gonna see if we can balance a little bit more. So you're gonna take that left leg straight back behind you, hands to heart as you step the feet hips width distance. Inhale, rise all the way to stand, and exhale, hands to heart center. Side number 2, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way down to the floor. Half lifts, hands down, step or jump back, bend knee, downward facing dog. Rock to the outside of your right foot, inside of your left foot, hips towards your heels, left arm lifts, so you're in that side plank. Press up and over, squeeze the inner thighs and reach. Bend the knees, drop it low and back. Keep pressing that right thumb into the floor, and then press up and over. 2 more times. Let it get juicy, so really find the creases of your hips. Last one, bend those knees, take it back. Left foot steps forward, right knee comes down. Arms reach up. Anjaneyasana pose. 1 long breath to find that full extension. Exhale, hands down. Curl the back toes under, bend the back knee, come up onto your left heel. Left leg is straight. Look forward, spring and extend that right leg back. Hands to heart center as you step the feet hips width distance. Rise all the way to stand, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful work. Take a moment, close your eyes. 1 hand to the chest, 1 hand to your belly. So after movement, after engagement, after the work, we get still. We integrate. Drop in. Take a nice slow breath in. See if you can take your time on even that inhale and not any tension around the neck or the shoulders, just expand, expand, expand. And then open your mouth, exhale, soften down through your legs, through your feet. Eyes blink open. Bring your big toes either touching or close together. So your feet can either be like equal signs, or you can even bring your inner thighs together. Your variation of Utkatasana. Sink those hips low and back. Reach your arms up to frame your ears. We're gonna flow this right to left. So right arm sweeps back behind you, left arm reaches forward, and then inhale, rise to your center, switch it out second side. And I don't want you to worry about being too careful with this. As best you can, keeping the pelvis parallel to the top of the mat, but giving yourself a little bit of freedom through that wingspan. One arm sweeps back and then the other. Belly stays toned, and you're really activating that sense of lengthening through your fingertips so that the front of your chest is expanded. For 3, for 2, last one. Inhale, rise all the way to stand, legs straighten. Exhale, fold all the way down to the floor. Inhale, half lift. Plant your palms, step or jump back, bend knee down dog. Roll forward, high plank pose. This time chaturanga dandasana, halfway lower. Upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, hips back to downward facing dog. Take a breath and send that right leg sky high. Curl the right knee in towards your chest. Roll forward, rounding through your upper back. Press and widen through the space of your shoulder blades. And then tick-tock that knee side to side. So without moving your pelvis, you're just moving that knee right to left. Right to left. Keep it moving. Still breathing. For 3. For 2. On 1, send that right leg back behind you. Bring the foot to the floor. Rock to the outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right foot. Press those hips back. Right arm reaches up and over as you press the hips forward. One more time, drop it back. We're gonna do the same thing we've been doing. Step that right foot all the way to the top of the mat. This time, you're gonna keep that back knee lifted. Arms reach all the way up to frame your ears. Now bend your back knee, straighten your front leg, reach your arms back behind you. This time you have to keep that right ball of the foot down. If you wanna see if you can get fancy, go for it. I know I can't quite do that yet. The more you scissor those, oh maybe I can. Scissor those inner thighs together, chest forward. Now spring off of those back toes, let's bring it to warrior 3. Left leg goes straight back behind you to the height of the hip. Turning that hip to face down. Maybe the arms stay reaching back, maybe the arms reach forward. Interlace all but your forefinger, cross your thumbs, straighten those arms, and reach from the strength of your core. One more big breath in, reaching in both directions. And then bend your front knee, step back to warrior 1. Back heel is spinning out at that 45-degree ankle and anchoring to the floor. Scissoring inner thighs together, arms reach up to frame your ears. Now straighten your front leg, come up onto your front heel. Hug those elbows in tight towards the sides of the chest. Drive your pelvis forward, lift your heart. And then as you bend into your front knee, slide the hands up the sides of the body, the sides of the face. Reach, lengthen those fingertips forward. We're gonna try it a few more times so you can get this. Stay anchored in that back foot. Come up onto your front heel. Lean back, elbows in tight. Feel that opening across your front body. Give yourself the opportunity to be a little bit wobbly, a little bit off balance. And then bring all 4 corners of that front foot down and extend the arms forward. One more time, bring it back. Front leg straightens, arms next to the sides. Bring all 4 corners of that front foot to the floor. Arms reach up. Now front leg is going to straighten and you're gonna pivot to a wide-legged stance. So you're facing the long edge of your mat. Both sets of toes turn. I'll turn so you guys can see me, and I know you might be facing away. Just do the best that you can. So you're in a wide stance, toes are facing the long edge of the mat, arms are reaching up towards the sky. Interlace all but your forefinger, cross your thumbs, move your arm bones back. This is a little bit like doing Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, but with wide legs. So inner thighs draw together, lean towards the top of your mat. So you're leaning towards that right foot. Lengthening up and out through the sides of the waist, pulling the front of your hips up, drawing your belly in, and then reach through those fingertips, through the pointer finger. Both legs straight and strong. Inhale, lift it all the way back up to center. Take it to the other side. So leaning towards the back of the mat now. Keep reaching those arms up and over. Elbows hugging in tight towards the sides of the head. Maybe gazing underneath of that right armpit. And then inhale, lift all the way back up. Exhale, turn your toes out towards 10 and 2 o'clock. So now the toes are facing the corner edges of the mat. Bend your knees, drop your pelvis low. You're coming into your goddess warrior pose. Elbows are bent. Right elbow is going to come underneath of your left elbow, and you're winding up. We're gonna take those thumbs away from the face, the elbows away from the chest. Get a little movement side to side in your pelvis. So you're driving the weight back towards your heels. Sit bones way back behind you so that you feel this in your glutes rather than your knees. Drop the elbows low. We're gonna take a little breath work here. We're gonna do our lion's breath. Open up the mouth, tongue comes out, eyes cross. You're alone, who cares, right? Inhale again, fill up. Fierce breath, let it out. Sink a little lower, one more time. Inhale. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way up towards the ceiling, straighten your legs, and then pivot your right toes to face forward. Let's find Trikonasana pose. So that right arm is circling down to the inside of the leg, and the left arm is reaching up towards the ceiling. Now you might have the hand resting on your calf, you might use a block on the inside of the foot, the hand might slide all the way down and catch your big toe. It's an outer rotation of your front thigh, so you're spiraling the inseam of that front pant kind of up and over the leg. Back leg is the opposite. Back leg is spiraling inward. One more big breath in, take that gaze up. And then we're gonna bend into the back knee, rainbow warrior, come up onto your front heel, back knee bends, arms are sweeping back. Think tailbone way back behind you, so you should feel this on that right inner thigh. Keep your chest moving forward, open, open, open. And then bend into your front knee. Spring forward, and let's find balancing Ardha Chandrasana. So right leg straightens, left foot lifts. Now take your time, we're gonna be here for a hot second. I always hate it when we move out of a pose before we have a chance to actually land it. So maybe talking those right fingertips a little bit further forward, pull your right hip crease in and back, lift your left leg up a little bit higher and extend through your left arm. Lengthen the left and the right side of your waist. Maybe even take your gaze up towards your extended hand. Maybe this is where you trip and fall. Give yourself the chance to do it and then laugh it off. Let's try again. Bend into your front knee, take a giant step back. Let's land in warrior two. So hips are open, arms are reaching. Spiral that left hand down, right arm reaches up and over, and then cartwheel those hands down. I have another partner in the room who, he had a good trip. All right, let's extend that left leg, or right leg rather, straight back behind you to the height of your hip. Elbows hugging in back. You might take it to a vinyasa with your right leg lifted, or both feet on the floor, or you can skip vinyasa altogether. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Take a moment to be still. Take a moment to empty thoughts, breath, tension. Take another big inhale. Open the mouth and exhale. All right, let's look forward to the top of the mat. Step, walk, jump the feet to meet the hands. Find your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Arms up, gaze up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Utkatasana, sink those hips low and back. Arms reach up. Let's take it right to left, twist it out. Give it a little bit more momentum to it. Let your breath have a little bit more momentum to it. So like I said, sometimes we look for perfection in postures or we're working on our form. Today, we are not working on form. We are working on play and freedom. So let the shape flow a little bit. Arms flying right to left for 3. Really let it go. Let me feel it, the momentum moving blood out to your fingertips. 2. Last one. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Exhale, fold all the way down to the floor. Half lift. Remember, you can simply step back to downward dog, or you can plant your palms and jump it back, bend those knees. Roll it forward to high plank pose. Draw that left knee in towards your chest. Tick-tock it side to side. Right to left. Keep that right heel reaching back, right hip pulling back for 4, 3, 2, last one. Send that left leg sky high. Step the left foot all the way down to the floor. Rock to the outside edge of your right foot, the inside edge of your left foot. Bend your knees, sink those hips back. Left arm reaches up and over the ear. Beautiful. Reach that left arm back, straighten the legs. Press the legs to straight as the left arm reaches up and over. Knees bend, sink it back. And press it up. One last time, bend those knees. See if you can take that giant step forward. Left foot. I like the pew. Now come all the way up into your high lunge pose. Arms reach up to frame your ears. Now bend into your back knee, straighten your front leg, and lean back. So hips are forward, chest is lifted. Nice. Maybe see if you can come up onto that front heel. Woo! Yeah, left leg doesn't want to work that way. Give it a whirl. Okay. And then bring all four corners of that foot to the floor, spring off of your back foot, and let's find our warrior three. Right leg goes straight back. Remember, if you don't land it the first try, don't worry about it. Do your best to find it again, to try again, to find the beauty and really the knowledge in what happens when we mess up. What can we learn from that? Reaching in both directions. One more big inhale. Maybe send those arms up and over your head, interlace all but your forefinger. And then take that giant step back to warrior one. So back heel is grounded, hips are facing forward, and you're squeezing the inner thighs together. Now hug the elbows into the sides of the chest, straighten your front leg, come up onto your front heel. As you bend into your front knee, slide the hands up the side of the body and extend it forward. Inhale, front leg straightens, lean it back, open throat. And then bend into your front knee, hands slide up the sides, let it reach all the way up and out. One last time, straightening the front leg, leaning it back, and taking it all the way forward, arms reaching up and over your head. Inhale, lift all the way back up, straighten your front leg, and pivot your hips to face the long edge of your mat. Let's come into Goddess Warrior pose. Knees bend, hips sink. This time, left elbow comes underneath of your right elbow. So lining up in the opposite direction now. Move those thumbs away from the face, elbows away from the chest, sink it low. Really find that clench, that squeeze in your glutes. Maybe take a little rock side to side. Keep those knees tracking in the same direction as your toes as you move it side to side. See if you can get a little bit lower without it collapsing into your lower back. And then drop your elbows down, lion's breath. Let it come from the back of your throat. 3 times, eyes crossed, make it fierce. Try to scare your pet. Inhale, straighten both of your legs. Sweep those arms all the way out and up. And then exhale to your triangle pose, second side. So right toes are facing forward, or the left toes, sorry, are facing forward. Right toes are turning in. Pull that right hip crease back. Maybe start to slide that hand slightly to the inside of the foot as you reach up. Take your gaze up towards your extended hand. So dynamic in this posture. 2 more deep breaths. Last one. Look forward to the space in front of your toes. Spring off of that foot. Let's find I'm going to slide back so you guys can see me. Sliding up into your balancing Ardha Chandrasana. So balancing half moon. Pull that left hip crease back. Reach up and out. Point your right toes and lift your right leg up a little bit higher. One more big breath. And then let's bend that front knee and step it back to warrior 2. Arms reaching out and over your legs. Revolve it back, hand lower as left palm flips face up. And then cartwheel those hands down to frame your front foot. Take that left leg straight back behind you. Option to take it through vinyasa or to bring the foot to the floor. Remember, you can skip vinyasa too if you like. Nice work. Settling into a round of breath here. Maybe even closing your eyes and seeing where you can find a little bit more ease in the body. Pull your mind back to your body. Last round of breath. All right, looking forward. Any way that you want to get there, if you wanted to hop, if you wanted to do a few handstands, whatever you wanted to play with, we're going to meet at the top of the mat in that forward fold. Inhale to your half lift, and exhale, release. Inhale to rise all the way to stand, arms sweep up to frame the ears, and exhale, hands to heart center. All right, let's find our Utkatasana pose. Sink those hips low and back, arms reach up. Let's take that action side to side, sweeping it right to left. Forceful exhale out, hips low. Last one, sweep that right arm back, all the way up through those arms, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold all the way back down to the floor. Inhale, half lifts. Exhale, plant hands, step or jump back. Bent knee down dog. Roll forward, high plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take that right leg up towards the sky. You're gonna rock to the outside of your left foot. Option to keep your right hand where it is, maybe more. Take that right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep that right leg lifted. Now bend your right knee, place the right foot behind the left thigh, reaching up and over. Now drop your pelvis down, reach your right arm forward, and then press your hips up, press off of those right toes. 2 more times, pelvis drops. And ellipse. Last one. Press those hips up high. See if you can lift your right foot up, bending your right knee, take that giant step forward, land it back in your lunge. If you need to help that foot forward, go for it. All right. This time we're gonna lift up into a twist. So let your right arm pull you, left arm reaching towards the front of the mat. Keep bending into your front knee. Turn from your belly, from your chest. Taking your gaze towards that back hand, keep pulling the left hip crease back. So it's the opposite of what feels normal here. You're in a lunge in your legs. Right arm is reaching back, left arm is reaching forward. Inhale, arms sweep back up again. Take that sweep side to side here. Try to keep the legs stable, right to left. 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Start to bend your back knee, straighten your front leg, lean your hips forward. Maybe come up onto your right heel, and then spring off of those back toes, find warrior 3. Left leg goes straight back behind you, arms reach forward, right leg is straight and strong. Take that giant step back, land in your warrior 1. Back leg is grounded, or back heel is grounded, inner thigh squeeze. Hips or elbows in towards the sides of your hips, come up onto your front heel, and then lean it forward, lengthen it out. Extend the arms up and over your head. Keep pulling that right hip crease in and back. Elbows in, front leg straightens. Bend into your front knee, slide the arms along the sides. One last time, bend, take it back. All 4 corners of that front foot to the floor, arms reach up and over your head. Straighten your front leg, pivot your hips to face the long edge of the mat. Arms go up. This time hands come behind your back, interlace your fingers, reach your knuckles down, spread the collarbones, lift up. Exhale, fold. Bringing your forehead down towards the floor, top of the head down towards the floor. Arms move up and over your head. Anybody who feels fancy today and you wanted to try a tripod headstand, walk your feet a little bit wider. Walk your hands back so your fingertips and toes create a straight line. Bend your elbows back, bring the top of the head all the way down onto the floor. If the head doesn't come down, this isn't a great way to try headstand today. Stay put, just take your prasarita. If the crown of the head is on the floor, elbows hug in tight, press into your fingertips. See if you can lift your legs all the way up. Bring those toes together. You want to draw the shoulder blades down and together and reach through the balls of the feet. Nice, I saw some headstands there. One more big breath in. And then exhale, take those legs wide, slowly bring it all the way back down again. Find your half lift. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, reach your knuckles down, rise all the way back up to stand. All right, here's where we get fancy. You're gonna turn left toes to face the back of the mat. Right toes turn slightly forward so you're in warrior 1 legs, facing the opposite side of the mat now. Knuckles reach back and down, chest lifts, and then bend into that front knee and fold. So you're coming into a humble warrior pose, facing the opposite direction. Moving those arms up and over your head, pull your right hip crease in, relax through the back of your neck. Inhale, let your arms lift you. Reach all the way back up. Sweep those arms up to frame your ears. And then revolve. Back hand lowers down, front leg will straighten. Start to pivot, pivot, pivot your toes. We're gonna take warrior, or rather trikonasana, triangle pose, facing back to the top of the mat. So right leg is straight, left toes turn in, and you're reaching left arm up. Right hand might slide a little bit further to the inside of the foot. Look forward to where you're going. We're going to take it to our balancing Ardha Chandrasana again. Spring off of the back toes. Extend that left leg back behind you. Option to add Champasana this time. So bending left knee, slowly, slowly, slowly. Reach back for the top of your left foot with your left hand, and then kick the foot into the hand. Start to turn your chest and your gaze to face the side of the room. Maybe even those right fingertips come off of the floor. Pulling that right hip crease back. Woo! Another spot to lose your balance a little bit. Play with it. All right, release that back foot, extend it back behind you, take a giant step, land in warrior two. Arms reaching out over your legs, and then revolve it. Circle the hands all the way down to the floor. Take that right leg straight back behind you. Bend those elbows in, maybe taking it half or all the way down. Upward facing dog or cobra pose. And exhale those hips back to downward facing dog. All right, looking forward to the top of the mat. Any way that you want it to hop. Handstand hops. Walking forward, stepping forward. You come to the top of the mat, now forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Sink those hips low and back, arms up. Sweep it right to left. So find that momentum, find the joy of the momentum. If you want, see if you can start to come up onto the balls of the feet. So as an arm sweeps back, come up onto the balls of the feet, come high. You're gonna feel it in your calves. You're gonna feel it in your core. Keep going. For 3, lift it up high. 2, last one, both heels down, legs straight and arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Find your way to downward facing dog, however you'd like, that's where we meet. Maybe you're taking a vinyasa along the way. All right. Roll it forward to your high plank pose. Left leg lifts. Rock to the outside edge of your right foot. Try to keep your left foot lifted. Maybe you're lifting your left fingers as well. So you're finding almost like a star variation of your side plank. And then plant your left foot behind your right leg. Flip your hips. Reach that left arm up. Drop the pelvis down. Sweep the left arm back behind you. And then press those hips up again. Reach it up high. Drop it low, left fingertips sweep forward, and then reach it up and over. One last time, drop it low, press it up high. See if you can take that left foot, take that giant step forward so you're in your lunge. And then we come into our twisted lunge. Let your left arm go back behind you, right arm reaches forward. Level your pelvis off, move your shoulders back, and then start to turn your gaze back towards that left hand. Bend into your front knee. Upper body stays where it is. Arms sweep right to left. It's challenging. Everything's wobbling, and we're not resisting. If we need to lose our balance for a moment, we can. But we are giving ourselves the freedom to really try it. Last one. Beautiful. Sweep both arms all the way up towards the sky. Bend your back knee. Straighten your front leg. Fingertips forward, hips forward. Maybe coming up onto your front heel. And then bringing all 4 corners of that left foot down, take it forward into warrior 3. Right leg goes back behind you, arms forward, chest is lifted. Lift from the back of that right thigh, squeeze your right glute. Take a step back to warrior 1, so back foot plants, front knee is tracking in the same direction as your toes, arm bones move back. Straighten your front leg, come up onto your front heel, elbows in tight to the sides of the ribs. And then lean forward, slide up the sides of the body and out through the crown of the head. Pull that energy in, front leg straightens, elbows in, and then slide the hands up the sides of the waist. Reach it forward. One last time. Elbows in, chest forward, hips forward, up on your front heel. As you lean forward, slide the hands all the way up and out. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Pivot your hips to face the long edge of your mat. Hands come behind you, interlace your fingers, knuckles reach down, collarbones lift. Exhale to fold. Option to stay with this variation of Prana Reset. Option to play with any upside down. So some folks might be able to take a forearm balance from here, or you can reach for the outsides of your calves, ankles, or feet. Elbows bend out, crown of the head goes down, tailbone goes up as the inner thighs spin backwards. Relaxing through the back of the neck. 2 more breaths. Inhale, hands come behind you, interlace your fingers, let the arms lift you, let the knuckles pull you up, back to center. Remember that we're switching the direction. So knuckles are reaching down, and you're gonna start to spin it to warrior one, facing the back of the mat. So right toes turn to the back of the mat, left toes turn at that 45-degree angle. You can change your footing if you need to. Knuckles reach down, chest lifts, and then we fold to the inside of that right leg. Remember, right hip crease pulls back, arms move up and over your head. Actively reach those arms. Inhale, knuckles lift you all the way back up through center. Sweep those arms back up to frame your ears, and then revolve it. Left hand to the back of your left thigh. Right leg straightens as your right arm continues to reach up, 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 up. Left toes spin to face back towards the front of the mat. And we come into warrior, or rather trikonasana, triangle pose. Looking forward in front of your left toes, let's spring it off and find our balancing Ardha Chandrasana. Left fingertips come to the floor or a block. Left leg straightens, right toes lift up. Option if you want to take it to your Champasana, catching the top of the foot, kicking that foot into the hand and spiraling the chest and the gaze up. Bending into that front knee, release the back foot, slide it all the way back, find warrior two, and revolve it. Back hand lowers, left palm flips face up. Cartwheel those hands down to frame your front foot, and then take that left leg straight back behind you. One or two-legged vinyasa. Hips back, and then taking the sits bones to your heels for a child's pose. Letting your belly rest in between your thighs, letting your forehead come all the way down to the floor. Maybe a little wiggle side to side. Maybe a little bit of sound if it feels good. I know for me, I've been utilizing this time at home to be very noisy in my yoga practice, and it's very freeing. So feel free to make some sounds for yourself. Breathe up the back of your body from your tailbone, sliding up to your shoulder blades to the dome of the head, and exhale down the front. Again, deep breath in through the back body up to the top of the head, and exhale down the front. Slide your hands back to the tops of your knees and roll up your spine, coming into a seated position. If your knees were separated, bring your knees to touch one another. Maybe even bring your ankles to touch. If this isn't comfortable for you, you're welcome to sit cross-legged, or you might sit on a block to make it a little bit more accessible. Slide the hands towards the tops of your thighs and lean forward. So this becomes a little bit like cat-cow pose. As you lean forward, the tailbone goes back, the chest goes forward. And then as you exhale, tailbone scoops, lean back, round the space between your shoulder blades, hollow your belly button to your spine. Slide the hands back towards the tops of the thighs, lean forward, tailbone back. Exhale, hands to the tops of the knees, lean back and round. So you've got the shape, find it forward to back. Last round. Inhale, pull forward. Start to lift your sits bones off of your heels. Curl your toes under. If this doesn't feel great on your knees, you can also take your mat and roll it up a little bit so you're giving yourself just a little bit more cushioning for the kneecaps, always an option. Now bring your hands to your lower back, press your hips forward. This is really important. You might even imagine that someone had hands on your pelvis and you were trying to press into the support of those hands. So you can even use your hands at the back of the pelvis to help with that. Inner rotation of your thighs. So it's like you were trying to turn the seams of your pants towards the space behind you. Start to lift your chest forward and not take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Lifting through your chest rather than just leaning back. And then sweep your right arm up and over. Sweep your right arm back, hips towards your heels, left arm forward. All right, so this is kind of similar to the action that we were doing earlier. You've got this twisty shape. Right arm is back, left arm is forward. All right, we're gonna press those hips forward. Right arm up, left hand to lower back. Same thing again, hips to heels. Toes are curled under, reach the right arm back, left arm forward. 2 more times, we scissor it this way. Start to give it a little bit of a pace. Hips forward and then swing it back. Last one. Sweeping that arm. Right arm back, left arm forward. Now start to reach it in the opposite direction. Left arm comes back, right arm comes forward. All right, right hand to lower back, left arm reaches towards the sky. We've got the scissors, second side. Right arm forward, left arm back. Right hand lower back, left arm up and over. For 3. For 2. Last one. Press those hips forward, reach your left arm up and back. Now let's see if we can lift both arms up, 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 up. So rather than leaning back, you're curling open through your upper back, squeezing the legs, both arms are reaching back. Now we might have a few people on here, I can't see Leslie, but Leslie might have this one. Hips keep driving forward, 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 and you might work to bring your hands all the way down to the floor behind you. Yeah, just an option. I'm not there today. Open, open, open. And then inhale, lift all the way back up again. Exhale, cross your ankles, bring your pelvis all the way down to the floor. If you've got your mat wound up, go ahead and unwind your mat again. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Extend your arms forward and very, very slowly start to roll it all the way down. So you're taking your time to lower the whole back all the way down to the floor. And you're walking your feet in close enough to you that you might be able to touch the back of your heel with your middle finger. And then you're bringing either your hands next to your hips, or if you wanted to take a full wheel pose, we've got one last back bend to play with. So back bend number 1 is bridge. Hips press up and off of the floor. You're lifting your vertebra, walking your arms underneath of you and interlacing your fingers and reaching your knuckles toward your heels. Or from here, bringing your hands next to your ears, lifting onto the top of your head. Exhale once here. Try to keep your toes facing forward as you lift all the way up. And then you might come up onto the balls of your feet if you want a little bit more space. Try to hug those elbows in and press your chest towards the space behind you. Let's take 5 breaths, wherever you're working. 4, nice, Joe. 3, 2, I see knees, I love it. And 1. I'm sorry I couldn't watch you guys a lot in this practice. There's a lot of sequencing, so it was better for us to watch together. Let's bring it all the way back down. Just taking a breath to be still. And then lifting your feet up towards the sky. Dropping your knees down wide towards the sides of the mat. Catching the outer edges of your calves, ankles, or feet. Working to press those knees down towards the sides of the mat. Maybe taking the little rock side to side. Maybe straightening a leg into the hand. And vice versa. And then you've got like another 2 or 3 minutes to make any last shapes that you need to make. So this is your opportunity to play. You might take yourself upside down. So if there's another inversion that speaks to you, you might go into a headstand, a shoulder stand. You might play with a handstand. If you're done with being really, really active, maybe a twist, or you might settle into your stillness. You might take an extra long shavasana. And I am here if anybody wants to unmute themselves to ask me a question about something that you're working on. I am really, really happy to support you guys in whatever you wanted to play with. Tammy, I saw where you were. I can't see where your head is, but you've got this. Another way to try this would be to start by bringing knees onto the backs of your arms from the straddle. Were you working on headstand from a wide-legged stance? Yeah. So the other thing that you could do, if you want to watch, would be from here, rather than trying to take the legs straight up, would be to bring one knee and then the other onto the arms first.
I can do that, Liz, but I can't get it going straight up, like the second.
I got you. Could you try one leg at a time? That's another way to go. So try a half straddle. Just 1 more minute to play with whatever it is that you wanted to play with. Anybody else have any questions? All right, let's make our way towards our Shavasana. So coming down onto your back. Hi, Rebecca's toes. Don't move them, I love it. Letting the whole back of your body soften into the support with the mat beneath you. Yeah, and if you've got distractions from pets, you can always take a seated position instead and work in a seated meditation. I know how much dogs love it when we lay down. So if you wanted to sit upright and just close your eyes, bringing your hands into your lap. And maybe just calling to mind one last time this idea of the clumsiness of tripping over yourself into a place of joy, being able to laugh wholeheartedly, deeply, to have a little bit of humanity towards your humanness. And in that way, maybe starting to allow the corners of your lips to turn up into a gentle smile, even if right now at the moment it feels a little inauthentic or it feels forced. Believe it or not, making this shape does physiologically shift our mood. And as the outward shape starts to take on something that feels like at the least contentment, maybe imagine that shape or that sensation for today. If it started on the outside, imagine it starting to drop into you on a cellular level. Imagine it filling your heart with joy. If you remember, at least when I was a kid, the Care Bears, and they had this little thing on their belly that was like, they each had their own flavor of something that they could radiate. So imagine that you have the ability to radiate that joy from the center of your heart out, that you could begin to make connections with all of the other people who practiced with you today. Maybe you could seek out someone that you know, or maybe somebody that you don't know who's really struggling at the moment, and you are giving them that lifeline of joy. Until all of a sudden, even though we're all practicing alone and maybe we feel the distance, there's also this feeling of connection that you have. Maybe control isn't the right word, but that you have autonomy to find. As you start to come back, breathe into the center of your heart and imagine in those connections that you've made, there's a fueling, there's a symbiosis, that as you breathe in, that you are drawing their joy, their love, their support back into you. And so the cup is full as you start to move. A little rock of your head, a little wiggling of your fingers and your toes, maybe a final stretch. Before making your way onto one of your sides, letting your bottom arm prop your head. And then finally making your way up to a seated position, bringing the hands to the center of your chest. Let's take one last nice collective breath in together. A big, long inhale. If that smile is still somewhere on your face, maybe let it stretch a little bit bigger. And open your mouth and exhale. Inhale, arms sweep up to frame your ears, bring your palms to press. And then exhale, gather that down so that the thumbs are resting at the center of your brows and you're just gently folding forward over your mat. A moment of reverence for your practice, for the longevity of this practice, that it came before us and it will continue after us. And I thank you all so much for being here tonight. This was, hopefully you guys had as much fun as I did. I was very inspired by the practice.